welcome back. Today we are going to go over all of the things that I am hoping to start for the month of March, and oh my goodness, there is a lot, and this doesn't even include any of my March winter sowing. So hey, if you're new here, my name is Christy. I am located in Western Massachusetts, Zone 6A, and March is going to be an extremely busy time. Now, as I just mentioned, I will be doing my warm annual winter or spring sowing, if you would like to call it, come mid to late March. So I like to start my warm loving annuals. Yes, you can winter sow zinnias, marigolds, celosia. I had really good success with them last year. I like to start them about 1.5 to 2 months before my average last frost date. So that will be around mid-March. I did it last year and everything grew beautifully. My zinnias did exceptionally well. I didn't have any powdery mildew on them. I even transplanted them twice. I put them into a vegetable garden where I had my peppers. However, they were kind of outshining my peppers because those were a little bit stunted. So I dug all of them up and then I moved them into some tilled beds that I just made that year, and they thrive. They put on blooms all year, even up until we had our frost. So I am definitely going to be winter sowing a lot more zinnias this year. I'll be a little bit more aware of how much I plan on putting in per milk jug. Last time I just chucked them in there and then I was dividing them, but they do grow super fast. So they were hitting that top of the milk jug rather quickly. So this time I'm probably gonna try and space them out so they don't get too overcrowded and just use up some more milk jugs with those. But right now we're gonna be talking about everything I'm going to actually be indoor seed starting. And I have a lot, and I've been doing pretty good up until now, sticking to my little checklist. Now, if you go back to a previous video, I talked about how I try and figure out when I seed start everything indoors, and I do include a free PDF file that you can download, and you can also tweak it to your growing zones. My average last frost date, as I mentioned, was around May 10th. Last year, I actually moved up a full week, and then this year it moved up just like a day. So definitely check that out if you want to see. Maybe you can fine tune things to fit your growing zone. But for this, we have a lot, and I don't honestly know how I'm going to fit everything because I was really hoping, and there's still plenty of time. I still have 2 more weeks in February right now as I'm recording this, but I probably won't post it until later in the month. I was really hoping to move a lot of my cool hardy annuals into my greenhouse to start hardening off and planting them. However, currently right now we have at least like 18 inches of snow still on the ground, and we did not have that at all last year. Last year we barely had any snow at this point in time in February. So I'm really hoping it will start to melt. However, next week we are going back into the low teens at night. So I can't even move my ranunculus. I'm hoping to pot those up as well into the greenhouse before planting them out. So we're going to be a little bit tight in here, and I might have to move things out to the greenhouse and then just try and figure out if I need to get like a portable heater. I do have a lot of frost cloth, but still, that's just like so time consuming. Even though I do have low tunnels, that was my game plan, was to plant things out, put the tunnels over them. I got those from the Gardener's Workshop when she had a sale, so I was very excited to get those in. So we're going to see how this works. But enough of that. Let's get into what we are starting for the month of March. I did forget to mention the reason why I am starting all of this, if you're new here, is that I do sell flowers at a roadside flower stand at the end of my driveway. This will be my 2nd year, and last year I did a lot of focal flowers. This year I have learned that I really need to bulk up on accent flowers, fillers, greenery, you name it, but definitely not so much with the focals. I have those, but I don't know. We're starting a lot of things. I'm kind of that go big or go home. I'm gonna try and figure out how I fit everything in. I was hoping to have my backyard cleared by this spring with the trees. However, we're probably gonna have to wait until the fall or next spring to do so. So I did buy all of these before I found that out. So we have a lot, and we're gonna see how we're gonna cram it in. But the first thing up on my list is going to be Feverfew. I did fall plant this. I also had this last year. It does really well with winter sowing. So I'm probably going to get a little bit more Feverfew because I have lots of seed packets and I don't need to start all of these indoors. When I did Feverfew in my winter sowing milk jugs, it actually had a later bloom time. So it was like another succession of Feverfew. So I was very excited about that. Plus I already have what I planted out in the fall. So let's hope that is surviving being buried in the snow all of these months and how cold it's been. I mean, we've been in the negatives like a lot. I never remember being an adult having it so cold. So for Feverfew anyways, let's try and stay on topic. From Johnny's, I have Tetra White and Magic Single. I also purchased from the Gardener's Workshop so I could winter sow some of these as well. Some more Tetra White and Vegmo Single. And then I do have from Swallowtail, I think this is what I might have fall planted. It just says organic Feverfew. So it says it gets 3 feet tall. So I probably will winter sow some of this as well. I'll winter sow at least 3 of these packets and the rest I will start indoors, hoping I can get some different successions with that. And I have everything rubber band and tagged to try and stay as organized as possible. Another thing on March 1st, so again, that was March 1st to March 8th is when my timeline of hoping to start it. I give myself 2 weeks, so if it says 6 to 8 weeks, I will give myself that 8-week mark, knowing that if I can't get it done, I still have 2 weeks to start them indoors. If I am, super busy with birthday parties, things happen, kids get sick, hopefully not, but at least I give myself a 2-week window to try and get them in the exact time that they need before planting out. So for March 1st, we have a first succession of Strawflower. Now, I'm trying to get more dried flowers. I want to harvest these to dry, not so much to use fresh. I really want to learn more about dried flowers, get some dried flower arrangements to extend my season in selling. I really loved those pumpkins when I had the dried flowers with them. So that is my goal there. So I have a lot of different varieties. We'll see what I end up getting. These I also winter sowed. However, they didn't bloom until the very late fall and I barely got any bloom. So I don't think this year I'm going to winter sow them. So I have some from Swallowtail and Johnny's. So from Swallowtail, I have the Scarlet Choice Double Strawflower and the Apricot Peach Mix and Bright Rose. So those 3 are going to be from Swallowtail. And then from Johnny's, I have the Seashell Mix, which I actually accidentally started in the summer to fall plant because I wrote down they were hardy to zone 6 when it was actually zone 8. So I kind of messed up, but I actually did get some blooms. They were super, super short, but they were very pretty. So I have the Seashell Mix, Bright Rose, and Apricot Peach again, and Vintage White. So we have lots of these. I'm going to try and get out as many as I can. So that is going to be a March 1st start date. And let's see what is next. So one variety of flower that I'm so excited to start is Statice. I don't know why I didn't do it last year because it was at my farm share. I do love it. And I was super excited because I have some from the Select Seed catalog. It was like a random order that I placed after getting it. But I have the apricot variety. I am very excited to have, I really want some apricot inspired bouquets with that colorways. I just absolutely love it. So I have that from Select Seeds, and then the rest are going to be from Johnny's. Now, I have this as a March 1st to March 8th, but my tag says the 15th, so I might have to count back. I will be starting it at some point in March, but I do have the pink poker variety. I thought those were really cool with like the long plumes that they have of the pink. It's just like a really cool texture to add. And I do plan on trying to dry these as well. So some will be fresh, some will be dried. And like I said, I have so much and I'm just really hoping I can get everything under some grow lights, or we're gonna have to steal some of my husband's racks and get some more shop lights and see what we can get done. All right, I also have the Johnny's Statice Formula Mix in there, Forever Silver, Hipster White, and the pastel shades as well. So those are gonna be all of my Statice. And again, my notes say the 1st to the 8th, but my tag right here says the 15th. So we'll double check those. So the next one for March 8th is going to be stock. I did grow stock last year. I had kind of good success with it. I would say at least like 75% of the tray made it outdoors. They were kind of starting to die off a little bit. It was definitely one that got lost in the shuffle, and I wasn't sure if it was because it was so hot in our bedroom. And these are going to be like a Cool Hardy annual. If that is what happened, I might try and do another round for the fall, but grow them in the basement where it is cooler. I think I'm going to do that for all of my fall plantings, is going to be growing them in the basement because it can get so dang hot in here with the windows. So for stock, I have a few varieties. We have the Cat's Formula Mix. I have Cat's Ruby, Iron Rose, Iron Cherry, Iron Purple, and I also have Vintage Brown. So I'm excited to get stock. I really want to get something that had like a nice scent to it. And stock I know can come in singles or doubles. I don't plan on picking out the singles. I am just going to, whatever grows, it is going out there. I'm not going to be super choosy right now, maybe down the line, but for right now, I am going to just keep everything because if I get 75% back out like I did in the fall, and I take stuff out like the singles and I have less to go out, I'm probably not going to be happy. So we're going to do everything we can with the stock. So up next is going to be another round of Strawflower. So this is going to be my second succession of Strawflower. I do have one from Swallowtail. It's going to be the Swiss Giant Mix. And then the rest are going to be from Johnny's. Oh my gosh, I have another apricot peach. How did that even happen? So now, oh, and I have another vintage white. So we have a lot of extra seeds. And I also have cranberry rose. So at least we lucked out with this. So between the Swiss Giant Mix and the cranberry rose, I don't really know how I do that sometimes. I order 2 of something because I add so much to my cart and I never edit it. But at least I'll have that. If not, we'll save those for next year. Another one for March 8th I got from the Gardener's Workshop is going to be Atriplex Green, if I'm pronouncing that right. So I have this. I'm excited to try this out. It's another Cool Hardy annual. It says that you can direct sow them. So we'll see if I get those out in pots or if I'm going to direct sow them. With the amount of snow we have, I don't know if that is going to be anytime soon. So March 8th, I'm also going to be doing any type of cooking basil. I actually really only like the Genovese variety. I did the sweet basil last year, which I did more in my bouquets. But I'm going to try and do, which I'm hoping, if I can stick to it, is a series of stuff that is just for cooking. So any flowers that will help, like marigolds to go with like my tomatoes and peppers and basil. I'm going to do also some, what's it called? I'm also going to do zucchinis and squash. So I'm hoping to do like a whole separate series on kitchen things that I'll be using and cooking and enjoying. And we use a lot of basil. So the Genovese, I'm going to be sticking probably just to that variety. I love basil and it just smells so good. So I'm excited to start growing that. And I really wish I did it indoors like all winter long because I love fresh basil. The dried is not the same. All right, up next is mountain mint. I have so much mountain mint. I don't know why I kept adding more and more every time I ordered it. I always added more mountain mint. I will be winter sowing these. Also, I have just some from different places. So from Select Seeds, I have 2 different varieties. I have just the regular mountain mint, and then I also have the Virginia mountain mint. So I am going to grow both of them. I don't know if it's just like the flowers are a little bit different. I do have a small mountain mint patch in my backyard, and I plan on having its own separate beds because these beds are actually, I'm so upset, are going to have to be ripped up. So these are a perennial. They're going to have to be dug up. I'm going to have to find somewhere to move them temporarily because where I put the beds is going to be in some repurposed boards, and that is going to have to get moved when we get our trees knocked down because the equipment is going to run right through that path. So I'm going to plant them all out. It's probably also why I have so much. And then I'm going to have to move them later on. And then I also have some mountain mints from Seed Therapy, and I'll probably end up winter sowing this as well. And I'm super excited. So usually on Valentine's Day, I start my tomatoes. I've done that for the past 2 years, except the indeterminate tomatoes, they were on this rack, they were actually higher. They're like 3 to 4 feet long. And there's these little skinny strips, and it was such a nightmare to harden them off. I was using some craft sticks, taping them together for support. And I'm like, okay, we're going to be pushing them back. So we already have the determinate tomatoes getting ready at the end of February, but I waited until March 15th. So I waited a whole month because I started them super early, but I had the best harvest. So starting them early might have been a pain hardening them off, but I got so many tomatoes. It was phenomenal. And super early in the year, like in June, I was thrilled. I had them way sooner than my farm share did. I still have my sister-in-law that goes, and they had tomatoes weeks after I had them. So it did pay off in the end, but I am going to just save some space for my flowers. But I do have 3 different varieties that I actually saved seeds myself. And I really do love from M.I. Gardener, their yellow pear. This was like producing so much, and the clusters were amazing, and my coworker absolutely loves them. So I will be starting some more from M.I. Gardener. I have Sun Gold and like your classic Super Sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. And I also saved some yellow pear as well. So I'm going to be starting just 3 varieties this year of cherry tomatoes, but I'm very excited because I love Sun Gold tomatoes, especially with this pasta that I make. I'm going to try on March 15th a new variety. It's the Hibiscus Mahogany Splendor. I have seen so many different people use this and rave about it for fall. So I'm going to start that as well. I think I have a good spot for it. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, for this next variety, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did pull it just in case. On March 15th, I still have some dahlia seedlings. So I actually found someone through a seed swapping group, and I paid for her seedlings, and they were phenomenal. Her flowers just were amazing. They just crushed anything that I bought from other companies. They were full. They were these beautiful colors. I have a handful left, so I don't know. I might start them. We shall see. But they were great, and I did save all the tubers. I took some pictures, which I'll post as well. But I just was so thrilled with them. I had some nice peaches and pinks, and I didn't have any singles from her, so I was thrilled. All right, March 15th to the 22nd, I am going to be starting some marigolds. Now, marigolds saved my butt, especially when I needed some type of greenery. I actually used the marigolds mostly for greenery. And then in the fall, I did use them. So Burpee has one, and it's called, oh my gosh, Giant Yellow and then Giant Orange. And I have not been able to find the seeds for them, but I did save some. So I plan on starting those, but those are amazing. And then from Johnny's, I also have the White Swan variety. So I'm excited to try those out. So we have White Swan, and then I have some yellow and orange saved seeds from last year. I'm really hoping I can get my hands on some of the Burpee, because the Burpee Giant Yellows were amazing. And those I winter sowed too, to be honest, and they were great. All right, another one is going to be Black-Eyed Susan Vine. I put this in my archway to my vegetable garden. So I'm going to be starting 2 of those on March 21st. So I have an orange and a yellow variety. Absolutely love them. I did save some seeds, but I'm not quite sure how they did. And I honestly don't know where I put them. So we're just going to be using some extra seeds that I found in my storage. Now, coming up for March 22nd, we have Cosmos, which I winter sowed these last year. So I'm debating if I want to winter sow or direct seed. I didn't start any Cosmos indoors last year, but I did get the double click variety. So I have the double click bicolor violet, and these are all from Johnny's, by the way. The double click rose bonbon and the double click snow puff. So I don't really care for Cosmos, to be honest, but I really wanted to try these. I did like them for the greenery as well. If I was short on some foliage, I just cut my Cosmos down and I used those instead. So I'm going to start some of these indoors, some of them with winter sowing. It's just you really have to stake them. They got so tall and then they would flop over. It gets super windy. So they weren't netted, but I did have some stakes, and I would have to keep tying them up. And then when I would do a hard cut, I'd have to retie them. So they were just flopping towards the end and I was getting kind of like frustrated with them. So we'll see how it goes this year. Again, I was going to go bigger on those because I thought I was going to have more land to grow on, but we could put that on pause for now. So we'll see if I can get a couple of them in. Where I put them last year, I was able just to tie them up close to my fence on my deck, which also helped. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we're wrapping up to our final 5 varieties. There are some on the document that I didn't add in, like goldenrod. I plan on winter sowing. There was, I think, chives and thyme, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with the herbs right now, but that's all right. All right, so we have basil. So I have lots of basil, but this is going to be for cut flower. So it's not going to be the cooking variety. I did get the Miss Burns lemon and cinnamon basil. I have a ton of it. So some of it I'm going to start indoors and then some of it I'm going to direct seed. So my plan is I have a patch of daffodils and I'm hoping to direct seed basil in between them so I can have it grow hopefully up if I'm able to like tie the leaves back and have that space not go to waste. So I'm hoping I can put basil there and that is where all the lemon basil will be. All right, also for March 29th, we have our first round of zinnias. I tried finding all of my pastels. So I have like the lighter colors, and then we will work our way over to like those nice bright fun colors for the summer. So I do have the Oklahoma Carmine, and these are all from Johnny's, by the way. Oklahoma Salmon, Oklahoma White. I didn't grow any Oklahomas last year, and I was really bummed, so I wanted to bring those back. I did 2 years ago, and I have the Oklahoma Ivory as well. Then we have the Bennery's Giant White. I have Aurora, Ballerina, which I grew last year, and I was like, but I don't know if it had as much sun as it needed, but I had a lot of like those like cactusy ones, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I did have some really pretty ones in there as well. And I'm trying the new linen that they just released. So that is going to be my first round of zinnias. I'm going to be starting these ones indoors. And then I do have a lot of successions. I did start some in my greenhouse. So we'll see how much I get indoors and how much I will be starting in my greenhouse. I cannot direct seed anything because I have chipmunks, squirrels, bunnies, and birds, and they just eat everything. I had 4 rounds of sunflowers just completely eaten by those little critters. So I'm not even going to risk zinnias. Everything will be started in some trays, and hopefully in the comfort of the greenhouse, they will not be disturbed by the chipmunks. All right, up next, we have a ton of celosia. And by the way, in these zinnias and celosia, I did not even mix in the floret varieties. Those will all definitely be started indoors. I want those to be very controlled because they were so expensive, and I'm going to try and not grow all of them. So I have not put in my floret varieties, but those will definitely be in here as well. So for celosia, I do have 2 saved seeds. I have a cranberry that I have saved and a hot pink. Those were from seed swapping, and that is just all I have as names. It's just basically the color. And then I do have a bunch of them from the Gardener's Workshop. These are going to be, they can start anywhere from March 29th to April 12th. So it does give me a lot of wiggle room. So I have the Plume Selway Terracotta, the Plume Selway Salmon, Coxcomb Crystal Beauty, Coxcomb Supercrest Mix. We have the Flamingo Feather, Texas Plume Mix, and I have the Plume High Z variety as well. And then I probably have at least 5 or 6 varieties from Floret. So we'll add those ones in. All right, another March 29th is going to be Sweet Annie, which I'm very excited to be added in. And I also have Frost Explosion that is also going to be around that March 29th, and those were both from Johnny's as well. So those are all the varieties I plan on starting. Now, tomatoes could be a total toss-up. I am trying to stick to what I will eat. However, I do have a lot more other varieties, which I'm going to try and not grow all the things because I cut out so much room, but we're going to be doing a lot of container gardening, and I do have a lot of space for those. So we'll see if I add anything else except for the tomatoes. I hopefully will just have those 3. There's more zinnias to come after that first round. And then I thought I had some more stock, and there were a couple of other things on my list that I don't think I added in. So I have on the 29th Mexican sunflower. I will be winter sowing them. They did phenomenal last year, so I don't even plan on starting them. Let's see, on March 22nd, I will be direct seeding some radishes if I can find a spot. March 29th, I can direct sow some dill as well. And chives, I could start on the 15th. And I think that was everything. Oh, and thyme would be March 1st, but I probably won't be starting that. And then on March 1st, I also had goldenrod, which I will be winter sowing. I think I started too many of my perennials indoors, so that took up a lot of my grow room. So we're going to be winter sowing a lot of the rest mid-March. I will be hosting another workshop as well at my local library for the gardeners around my area. We will be starting all of our warm hardy annuals. They actually loved the winter sowing. It was so much fun, and I have so many seeds to share. We also have a seed bank we're starting, so whatever I don't get going in February, I'm going to be donating the rest to our brand new seed bank. So it's a lot of fun. It's nice to join the community and share my passion for gardening, and then it also gets the word out about my small flower stand, because I really hope to grow this business over the next few years and turn it into something more than just a roadside flower stand. I would love to get into some like markets or selling to florists, doing buckets. I mean, it's called Christie's Bloom Bar because I really wanted to have a to-go bloom bar where I could set up shop at different places. So we have a lot of growing. That is why this year it's really important to me to try and document as much as I can and try all the different varieties to see what works in this area. So if I missed anything and you have any suggestions, please let me know, or let me know in the comments if you have something favorite that I mentioned today that you are also growing. Any tips and tricks are always welcomed. I love learning. I am no expert by any means, and I do not claim to be one. So I always appreciate in the comments when you guys are giving me some advice. I mark it down in a little notebook that I have, and I try and implement as much as I can. So I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to stay updated and see all the things we are growing, don't forget to click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see y'all next time. Happy gardening.